And let me echo Joey's points that he did. I know you only had a sample size of one. I actually did the same thing.
Did you really?
So, yes, absolutely. I just mentioned, I was telling people that I actually printed out the job market paper and I sent it to 6 schools, exactly, and got exactly the same type of feedback. Professors love reading papers. And if you get a hard copy of a paper in your mailbox, you cannot resist it is paper. And so just to echo his point, so now we have a sample size of 2, but that works. Let me first congratulate everybody for being here. So this is a tremendous opportunity. Second, this is my personal opinion, but I think a lot of people share this. You are about to embark on the greatest job and greatest career in the world. And so this is absolutely wonderful. There's no other career where you get a chance to study and pursue problems that you find intellectually interesting. You get to shape students' lives. You get to pursue things in a way that makes you, that you can really dig deep into, and you have choice over that. So congratulations to you about embarking on this. Within the next year, most of you in this room will have a job someplace. And so how do you begin to navigate that? You have all of Joey's ideas in terms of how to come up with your great research ideas, your great research papers. You're trained very well technically. What might help you? So I surveyed quite a few of the junior faculty that have been at Georgetown and a few others that I know about what are the things that they sort of wish they knew as they were starting out. What can they do beginning right here, right now, here at this meeting, going forward through to the tenure process and decision? So first, always keep the goal in mind. What is the goal? What are you trying to achieve? You're right here at this step where you're trying to finish up your dissertations, get your job market paper together, find a job. As a PhD student, you want that dissertation to be high quality. You want to get it done as quickly as possible. You want to make sure you get the best job possible given your goals and your value system. So make sure that you're always, anything that you're doing, make sure it's being done with that goal in mind. Is what I'm spending my time on, because that's the commodity that we have a limited amount of, is time. Make sure, is this helping me to get that dissertation to be high quality? Is it helping me to get it done as quickly or as efficiently as possible? Is what I'm doing helping me to achieve my personal job goals? Then as an assistant professor, you want to focus on the fact that you have a limited amount of time before a tenure decision comes up. So again, what am I doing to accomplish that? You want to keep that in mind. I know most of you in the audience are a bit further away, but as an associate professor, getting promoted to full professor, to have some say and influence in your departmental decisions, and then the ultimate goal, get promoted, get a chair so that you can fully devote yourself to those activities you know. So keep in mind, what are you trying to accomplish, and make sure that in trying to accomplish that, you're doing it as efficiently as possible, keeping that goal in mind. So then you're going to enter into this new institution. You're pretty comfortable in your current PhD program. You sort of know how things work. You know how people get things done. You're going into a new institution. You're the new person going there. Maybe they might set you up with a mentor. Maybe you have another faculty member there that graduated from your PhD program. But oftentimes it'll be sort of new to you. So you want to know the rules of the game as you go into your new institution. What is going on? And so at a basic level, all the junior faculty know you need to make sure to publish your papers in the best journals possible. That's going to lead to your positive tenure decision. You should be comfortable with the list of journals that are considered acceptable at your school. I know we're going to have people at various levels of schools that you're targeting for your jobs. Understand how they value the journals and what impact that will have potentially on your decision. You should seek out as much advice on your research so that you can improve in, the quality of your papers. Send them out to conferences. You want to get that exposure. You want to get that feedback. You want to make sure that you have done all this possible to have people look at your work and give you an idea of what you can improve on that work. Make sure you take advantage of all those opportunities. Those 3 things I think are pretty comfortable for most people in the room. I want to focus a little bit more on some of the soft information that you will be, some of the things that you should take into consideration as you begin on this job journey. So each institution is different, so understand as best as possible what is going on within your institution so that you can make the best decisions in terms of how you are allocating your specific time. What is your evaluation system that's in place for the first couple of years? How are they going to evaluate you? Is it sort of, you're a new junior faculty, we're not worried what's going on in the first couple years? Is it, hey, we really want to see something immediately so that we know that we made a good decision? Is there a mid-tenure review coming up? How soon is that mid-tenure review? How important is that mid-tenure review? Does it actually shape perceptions related to the tenure decision? Is it just a formality that the school requires? Depending on the nature of the institution, this can be a very significant event where they're really thinking about, hey, this person, we're really focusing now on whether they have a chance at tenure going forward, versus this is just sort of standard, we want to give you some feedback so that you can understand where you are. Make sure you have some sense of how that works. You're going to typically go in and just want to jump in, let me get my papers done, but have some understanding of how people are looking at you, how are they evaluating you over the first couple of years that you're there. What are the perceptions of the overall portfolio of papers expected? Schools can vary. Does it need to be a single authored paper? Do I need to see at least one single authored paper as part of your portfolio before tenure? What about co-authoring with junior faculty? Is that sort of expected? Being a good colleague within your department, within your school, is that something that carries a lot of value? What about co-authoring with senior faculty? All of us have wonderful dissertation chairs, and you work with them. You're probably going to continue to work with them. Is that going to be devalued in any way that you're working with someone that already has this reputation that is pretty significant in the field? How much should you work within the school? Does the school value a lot of diversification, or are they okay when they see a lot of synergies within the department itself? How does the school in general view that entire package, that entire portfolio of research papers? And then, expectations concerning teaching. What do you need to do for the teaching to be considered acceptable? What are the expectations? You're there to get your papers published, but what are the expectations on the teaching side? Undergrad is different than MBA. Are you expected to teach anything in an executive MBA program, or should you avoid that completely because it has some negative connotations? Specialty classes and special programs and things. Is that, again, okay to do? Should you only do if the department chairs ask? Is it something to avoid because of how it may be perceived? And one of the things that you always want to be careful of, the rules of the game can potentially change from when you walk in the door to when your tenure decision is going to come up, simply because a new department chair may come, a new outstanding faculty member may come. They may hire a new junior faculty member who's going up a year before you with tenure, who has this outstanding record. All those things can sort of change. A new dean arrives, a new provost arrives, and so you want to make sure that you have some idea of the rules of the game. What is going on in your specific institution to make sure that you're comfortable when it's your turn to go up for tenure. Clearly, if you have 10 JFs, you're pretty much in good shape. But otherwise, you want to make sure that you understand what is going on. So once you know the rules, let your value system of your school determine your time allocation. Here are the rules of the game, then here's what I need to do to accomplish the goal. Remember, I started out on the first slide, is you want to get to being an associate professor with tenure. You want to make sure then, what am I doing? Am I allocating my time correctly so that I can reach those goals? Research is more time intensive, takes longer than teaching, because teaching gives some more immediate feedback. Seeing junior faculty really spend a lot more time there, where it has been a little bit detrimental to their research. Again, understand the importance of teaching within your institution, And once you understand that, you'll know how you can allocate your time. Use your research time for research. As best as possible, given the value system of the school, one of your favorite words when you have your research time is no, if it's something that's not research related. You want to take advantage of your research time. That's why it's given. That is precious. It is extremely valuable. Take advantage of that research time. Now again, I put in given the value system of your school. There may be certain things that you need to do given the value system of the school, but use your research time for research. Whatever works best for you in terms of how you do your research. You come into your office and just shut the door. You prefer to work from home. You're going to go visit your co-author at their institution and spend a week there working. Whatever works, that research time is precious. And use that research time for research. And still, carve out some research time while teaching. Avoid too many outside time-consuming activities while actually teaching so that you're still getting some research done. Research is a more time-intensive process, so you don't want to shut it down while teaching. If you can sort of lump, and your value system in your school allows it, if you can lump your teaching on certain days and your office hours, and you can dedicate your other time to research, do that to make sure that you're continuing to do your research during that time. Now, we got to make this actionable, right? That was the exact point. How do I actually do this? I'm the new faculty member. I'm going into a new institution. This is great what you're telling me. How do I even begin to understand the value system of my school? How do I get a sense of what is acceptable, what is not acceptable? How do I get a sense to be able to do this? Our profession is very friendly. But you know, walking in, you might be a little bit uncomfortable, going into a new situation. How much do I ask? I don't want to be perceived in any negative sort of light. Keep in mind, if the institution hired you, they like you. They found something positive about you from the beginning. So they do view you favorably. It starts here at this conference for those of you that are actually interviewing. Listen carefully to what goes on during the interviews. How are they interacting? You can get clues to the internal culture by what's going on in the room of the interview committee. What are some of the things they're saying? What are some of the things they're selling about the school? How do the interviewers interact among each other? Take your own personal set of notes in terms of what you're seeing, what you're hearing, how they're interacting. Oftentimes you'll meet with some of the faculty for coffee, you'll have dinner. Take those type of notes. Jot down, here's what I perceive, here's what I feel, here's what I sense about how that school operates and what that school's culture is like. Reach out to the most recently tenured member of the department. Assuming the tenure case went relatively smoothly, this is one of the happiest people around. They now have accomplished that goal. They are willing to talk. Take that person out to lunch and say, hey, I am so happy for you. You're awesome. You're terrific. I wish I can be like you. Do you have any advice for me? What did you hear? What did you see? What was successful for you? That person will give you a lot of sense of what went right, what went wrong, what they felt they could have done better. They're happy. They just got promoted, unless it was a really ugly case. They are happy. Reach out to them, take them out to lunch. That one I've done a lot of times when I was a junior faculty, and you learn a lot about how the institution's functioning, what's going on, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. Find a professor who you share outside interests with. As time goes on, people always sort of invite you. Do you want to go to lunch? Do you want to have coffee when you're new there? Find someone who has an outside interest similar to yours. And that person, when you're in those social atmosphere outside of the regular place, you'll be able to discover things about what's going on. So it may be sports, art, music, wine tasting. It's easy to talk about these things in a social setting. I'm a big basketball fan. Yes, I'm stuck in the travel softball world, but I'm a very big basketball fan, and Georgetown has a great basketball team. One of the senior professors invited me to one of the Georgetown basketball games. I said, absolutely, I have to go to that. I learned so much about the institution and the value system just at that basketball game. And so use those opportunities to be able to interact with other faculty members socially so you have a good feel of, okay, this is okay. This is okay. Oh, I better not do that under any circumstances. Okay, this is okay. So you get to understand that value system under those circumstances. And then talk to former graduate students of your PhD program who are at comparable schools. Although the departments might differ, many things are the same if they are at a comparable school. I went to this wonderful PhD program with Professor Cliff Green. Hey Cliff, how does this work? How does this work? How does this work? And so there were several emails. Hey, should I do this? Would you think this may be perceived as negative? Reach out. They will be more than willing to talk to you because you know them and you have a previous relationship with them under those circumstances. So the final observation, keep in mind the rules of the game, understand your value system of the institution that you're at, start to get that soft information today if you can, then you can be more efficient on your research and teaching and service. One thing that I found extremely valuable to me, if your department allows it, suggest speakers for your outside seminar series. The easiest way to get to know people in your field, you get a chance to really get to know them because you can offer to take them to be the host who takes them to lunch, who takes them to dinner. You can talk in detail about your research. You can tell them what is going on. They'll offer a lot of advice. Who doesn't like giving advice when they're eating a steak at Morton's? You know, make the best of it. So these faculty will often be referees on your papers or potential letter writing in the tenure process. So that's another advantage to doing that. So as you're talking to people here in this room, when you go to some of the seminars and the presentations this week, when you go to your interviews, keep a list of faculty who you think, this person is someone that I would really like to get to know, someone that I would really like to talk about, who's in my research area. And so you can take advantage of that. Fortunately, we were, in our department, I could do this twice a year, and so I was able to invite people who turned out to be very useful and helpful in helping me along the journey as a junior faculty member. Greatest job around, take advantage of all your resources that you'll be having here in this today and during the seminars and presentations throughout this week. Well, thank you.